Hello everyone, happy Tuesday. It's time for another episode of Tuesday Live at 5. This is Lena Gersa. I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator from Cambridge, Ontario, Canada. And today I am all about the gorgeous hand-penned suite in the new Stampin' Up! Annual catalog. Now this suite is one that went right to the top of my must-have list as soon as I saw this catalog. It is so gorgeous. And I have to say, I've been playing with it since pre-order started. So I have so many ideas and samples to share with you. I'm going to demonstrate 3 projects today, but you just want to stay tuned to my social media all week because I have so many ideas to post and share. So first of all, let me say, I'm a little croaky today. I'm not feeling my best. It's been kind of a crazy few days in our household. We last week got word from my husband's work that there were 2 positive COVID cases at his work, and they're related. So our public health declared an outbreak. So my husband's been getting regularly tested. They have rapid tests at work, all of that. So he's fine. He's had his first dose. He's been testing negative, no problem. Well, I started feeling really crummy on Sunday and was super tired, super sore throat, congested, just not feeling well at all. So, of course, immediately I started worrying about COVID. Now, I have already had my 2 shots. I'm not fully immune yet. I'm a week from today, I will be fully immune. It'll be 2 weeks after my my second shot. My first shot was last week. My second shot was last week. So I'll be fully immune by next week. Anyway, so I have not been feeling great for the last several days. So I just thought, okay, I need to get tested just to make sure that he didn't somehow bring COVID home from work. So of course, I went for my test yesterday. All good. Came back negative. I'm fine. But I'm not feeling great. My throat's kind of croaky, but I didn't want to cancel today because there's so much happening this week that I had to share with you. So you're going to have to bear with me if I have to stop to take a drink or wipe my nose. I'm a little stuffy. I haven't been sick in like forever because we wear masks everywhere, right? Nobody gets sick anymore. So it's so strange to feel unwell. But anyway, here we are. And I am going to finish my school year strong. I have 1 more week left and it's going to be fine. So here we go. All right. So we are all about the hand pen suite, as I said. Now, before I get to the projects, I want to tell you about some really exciting things that are happening this week. Yesterday, Stampin' Up! Announced a 24-hour flash sale that is free shipping on orders of $65 or more here in Canada. So that sale is happening on Thursday, June 24th, from 12 a.m. until 11:59 p.m. And that's Mountain Time. Okay, so you're going to want to take advantage of this. $65 order, free shipping. Absolutely sign me up. So I actually was planning on doing a promotion for my 50th birthday. I'm turning 50 on Friday. Not sure how I feel about that. But anyway, I had a promotion plan. So I decided that I was going to back it up by a day to pull in the free shipping so that people that want to take advantage of my birthday promotion can also take advantage of the free shipping. So all of the details are posted here on this page, and I will post more information as the week progresses. I did send out a newsletter. So if you are subscribed to my newsletter, I just sent one out this afternoon, so it has all the information there. But my birthday promotion is I'm giving you a gift. So for any size order, you will get to choose a free embellishment from the annual catalog. Now that can be anything up to a $13 value. So that could be ribbon, that could be bling, anything that is an embellishment valued at $13 or less is yours free. Okay, and that's with any size order. So what you'll want to do really is take advantage of the free shipping promotion on Thursday, put in your $65 order, get it shipped for free, and get your free embellishment. That's the best deal. Okay. So Thursday is a red letter day. Circle it on your calendar and get your wish list and your order ready. Now you can shop online using the host code, or you can email me directly and I'll place your order for you. I'm happy to do that. Okay. All right, let's get to some stamping. I'm going to pull up my video here on my iPad so I can see who is joining me. All right. Hi, Louise. Hi, Sue. Kelly, this is not related to the vaccine. Actually, I asked at the test clinic and she said anything that's past 72 hours after your vaccine is not considered a side effect. So I have a cold of some kind. I don't know. But anyway, yes, Sarah, 1 week to go. I don't know if you're I'm sure you're as excited as I am. It has been a very long year. So very excited to be almost done. 1 week from today, it's going to be a Rockin' Live at 5 1 week from today, because I will be officially on summer holidays. So I may even have a glass of wine that I'll be sipping during the video. We shall see. All right, so let me flip the camera and I'll show you the suite that we're going to be working with, and then we'll get to it. Okay? All right, here we go. Okay, let's get the lamp out of the way there. Okay, we look pretty good. All right, okay, Zara, we're on, and we still have to have a patio date sometime soon. I'll be fully vaccinated in a week, so I am good to sip frosty beverages on a patio. You pick the day. All right, so hand penned is what we're working with today. It is a gorgeous layout in the catalog, page 104. I mean, just look at these projects. They're just beautiful. And honestly, this suite is so easy to work with because the DSP is just fantastic. The stamped images are stunning. And the dies just, so much to love. So that's the suite in the catalog. We are going to be focusing mainly on the stamps and the dies, the bundle today, but I am using DSP on every project, so you'll get to get a good look at the DSP as well. Now, the dies, just like always, we have the dies that cut out stamped images, okay, and then we have some dies that just cut out shapes. So these are detailed dies. We're going to be using these today. And the stamp set also has beautiful sentiments and really great fonts. Okay, just a great set. Now, what I love about this stamp set, it's actually a two-step stamping set. Try saying that fast when you're not feeling well. So we have our outline stamps, and then we have several stamps that will fill in that stamped image. So you're going to see that in action today as well. So let's get to it. Enough talking. I've been talking too much. Let's do some stamping. All right, so the first project is one that I posted yesterday, and this kind of exploded on my Pinterest page or my Instagram account. Lots of people love this project, and what I think really makes this project is this look of faux embossing. So this is a technique where you do tone on tone, so the same color of cardstock with a detailed die cut, and it looks like it's lacy embossing. It's really cool. So I'm going to show you how we do that. So let me dump out all my bits here and we will get to it and get all these out of the way. So I'm starting just with a regular 4 by 5¼ inch piece of basic white cardstock. And then I have taken and cut 3 of the detailed floral dies. So I'll just pull in the dies. Where did I put them? There they are. It's this die here. Okay, so I cut 3 of those, and this is a really key point here. When you're doing this technique, you want to make sure, especially with these detailed die cuts, you want to make sure you're using the adhesive sheets. Trying to glue these down without having the adhesive sheets on the back is just a little bit tedious. So the adhesive sheets make this super quick and easy. Now you'll notice that I haven't taken the time to poke out all my little bits on here. And that's because I have found that when I peel off the adhesive sheets, most of the bits stick to the backing. So I don't have to spend my time doing the old pokey poke or working with my die brush. I can just peel off my backing and I'm pretty much good to go. All right, there's a couple of little bits in there that come out really quickly and easily, but that is a great little feature that I have discovered about these. So now we're just going to arrange these die cuts on our panel here, okay? And the key is to kind of have them touching the edges, okay? That's what's going to give it that sort of authentic, sort of faux embossed look. So we're going to do the same thing with this next one. There we go. Oh, we left a few more bits in that one. That's okay. Not too bad. I find I don't bother taking the time to poke out the little centers, the little teeny tiny bits in the center of the flowers. I kind of like that sometimes they stay in, sometimes they don't. I just like the look of that. Makes it a little bit random. All right, so let's pop this one on. We'll put this one down here. Okay, now I'm not going to worry about that little bit because we're going to add some DSP here that is going to cover that up. So the DSP is going to go on here. Now I do want to add a little bit down here and a little bit up here. So I'm actually going to take my die cut and I'm just going to cut it in half. Okay, and then we're going to peel off our backing once again. Should be using my take your pick for this. My thumbnails have been used and abused in the garden recently, so they're not quite as strong as they once were. All right, so we're going to add just a little hint of a die cut here. That's going to go across like that. And then we're going to add another little hint, sort of peeking out at the top. So let's get rid of these little bits here. Now what happened here is there's no adhesive on the back of this section. So we're going to just trust that the DSP is going to hold it down. Now, this is not going to look super nice on here, but it's going to get covered up. Okay. I just want to have a little bit peeking up above. I'm going to do it right there. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to have a little bit peeking up above my DSP. Okay. So now these little bits that are hanging off the edges, we're just going to flip over our panel and trim them off. So I'm just taking my snips and using the edge of the cardstock as a guide. We're just going to trim this off just like that. And then we'll do this side. Get rid of those little guys. And these little guys up here. So this faux embossing trick is one that you can use with all kinds of die cuts. They don't have to be detailed die cuts. I've done some where I've cut a whole bunch of little hearts and just glued a whole bunch of little hearts on it. It looks like I've embossed with a heart embossing folder. I've done it with butterflies as well. So there's lots of possibilities with this one. You don't have to limit yourself to the detailed die cuts, although the detailed die cuts do kind of give the biggest wow. Now I am out of adhesive sheet there, so I am going to have to use a little bit of liquid glue to tack these guys down because we want them to be flat, or it's going to give away the fact that this is not embossed. We don't want anybody to guess that. So we're just going to add a little touch of liquid glue to the back of this guy. Come on. There we go. And that one I think will be okay because we're going to cover it. Yeah. Okay. So we've got our background panel done. So pretty and lacy. And then I have here a piece of the hand-penned Petals DSP. It's cut to 2 by 4 inches. So it's going to go right across my panel, just like that. So let's add a little bit of glue. I'll just use some Tombow since it's handy. And we're going to pop this on right about there. Again, just to kind of cover up a part, but not all of that part that didn't glue down. Okay, so there we go. Next, I'm going to take a little bit of pale papaya ribbon. So this is just a scrap I had left over at the end of a roll, but I'm going to add a glue dot to each end. I'm going to trim off the excess because we're going to use that for a bow. And we're just going to adhere the ends to the back of our panel, just like that. Okay, now that is ready to glue to our card base. So I have here a piece of thick basic white cardstock. It's 5.5 by 8.5 inches, scored in the middle at 4 1/4. So we're going to fold that in half along our score line. And we'll just give that a little bit of a burnish with our bone folder. And then take a little bit of adhesive to glue our panel to our card front. Whoopsie. So we'll pop that on just like that. And I love the look of the white on white. It's just very clean and fresh looking. I think this would make a beautiful bridal shower thank you card. All right, so now here I have the floral image from the hand-penned Petals stamp set. I've stamped it in basic gray ink, and I'm going to color it using my Stampin' Blends. Now, you can certainly use the stamp images in the stamp set to color the images in, but I really love using my Stampin' Blends, so that's what we're going to do. Now, you'll notice I wasn't super careful on this about trying to make sure that I stayed in the lines or that everything was really perfect. I kind of was going for that same sort of watercolor look that is in the DSP. So I'm not being super, super careful. This is just really, really quick. So I'm starting with my light. Then I'm going to come in with my dark, and I'm just going to add some really quick, and I mean quick, shading. And then I'm going to come back in with my light. And I'm basically just kind of coloring right over the whole thing. I'm not being super careful. I'm not trying to, you know, make sure I'm staying in the lines. This is my kind of coloring, right? Super quick and easy to add. Really beautiful color. So we'll just add a little bit to this guy. And again, we're going to just sort of follow the sort of hash marks on the image. And then again, just kind of come in and blend those out a little bit. Okay, super quick and easy to color that. And then same kind of thing, I should mention I was using pale papaya for the flower, and I'm using mint macaron for the stem and leaves. So again, I'm just going to come in really quickly. I'm not being super careful or trying to make sure everything's perfect. Okay, so for those of you who say you can't color because you have a hard time staying in the lines, or you find it stressful to stay inside the lines, this is coloring that gives you permission to be a little bit messy. Okay. All right. So then I'm going to come in with my dark. And again, I'm going to add just some really subtle, quick little shadows here. Nothing super careful. And then again, we're going to just blend that out with our light. And as that dries, those colors are going to blend really nicely. Okay, super, super quick and easy. All right, so that is going to go on the front of our card, just a little bit to the right of center. So we're going to add a couple of dimensionals to that. Hi, Krista, how are you? All right, I'm surprised all you demonstrators are watching me. I thought you'd all be, huddled in front of your computers looking at the new catalog. For those who are not demonstrators, today is the day that Stampin' Up! Revealed the new Holiday Mini and Celebration 2.0 brochure to demonstrators. So 3 o'clock this afternoon, Eastern time, is when it went live. It was kind of a ghost town for a little while as everybody was glued to their computers checking out the new catalog. And oh my goodness, you guys, so gorgeous. You just wait. All right, so I have a little scrap of white cardstock here. I'm going to take my thanks stamp and I'm going to stamp it in some basic gray ink. Super quick. And then I'm going to bring in my double oval punch, oval, whatever it is, double oval I'm calling it. And I'm going to punch out the smaller oval. And that will give me my label. Okay, and then that is going to go on. I punched the scalloped oval using the same punch from some more of that gorgeous DSP. And we're going to pop that up. Actually, no, we'll glue that flat and we'll pop the whole thing up on the front of our card. So we'll glue this guy on first. All right, just like that. Make sure that's nice and secure. And then we're going to add a couple of dimensionals to the back. 1 and 2. And then we're going to pop this onto the front of our card. Now I need to take off one of my dimensionals. I forgot about the fact that there's a leaf there and we don't want to pop on top of pop because it will not lie flat. So we'll just add a little bit of glue there instead. And then that is going to go on right about there, just kind of nestled up next to our flower. And then we're going to tie a bow. So this is this gorgeous in color open weave ribbon. Again, my favorite ribbon of all time when it comes to in color ribbon. It's so pretty, so easy to work with. Ties like a dream, has beautiful shimmer. I can't say enough about this ribbon. I just love it. So we are going to trim our tails there and grab a glue dot. We'll press the knot of our bow into the glue dot, and then we're just going to tuck the bow right in sort of where the oval and the ribbon that we had on there meet. Okay, the last touch is to add some of our beautiful genial gems. Whoopsie, come on, work with me, take your pick. And I'm going to add, these are the Pale Papaya ones. They come in Pale Papaya and Soft Succulent in the same pack. They are gorgeous. These are kind of my go-to. I always have one embellishment that I gravitate to, and these are kind of the ones that I'm using all the time lately. All right, so there is our finished card. Isn't that pretty? So, so cool. I love that faux embossing technique. So give it a try with your detailed die cuts or even not detailed die cuts, but it's a really fun technique. All right, so let's move on. I'm going to keep that out because I need it for the next, or for the last card that we're going to do. And I'm just going to shove my garbage off to the side. I'll clean it up later. All right, next project we're going to do is this one. So this is just super simple, but I wanted to show you how the two-step stamping works, because I get some people who purchase these two-step stamping sets and then they're not sure really what to do with them. So I'm going to show you how they work. It's super forgiving. So if you are someone who has a hard time lining up images when you're doing two-step stamping, this one's really forgiving because it's supposed to be a watercolor look. So let's get to it. So I have here my card base. This is thick basic white once again. It's 4 1/4 by 11 this time. So it's a different orientation, and it's scored in the middle at 5 1/2. So let's fold that in half. Give that a good burnish. All right, then also I have a piece of mint macaron cardstock. So this is 2 3/4 by 5 1/4, and I've embossed it using the Meadow Moments embossing folder. So those are from the annual catalog. And I have also a strip of, you've got it, the Hand Pen Petals DSP. I am a little bit obsessed with this Highland Heather So Saffron Mint Macaron combination right now. You're going to see it on the next card as well. I've been playing with it a lot. So these two pieces are actually going to get adhered to the front of my card, and it's going to look like a panel on the front of my card, even though they're just two individual strips. So I'm going to start with the larger one first. I'm going to use liquid glue just because I want to be able to kind of nudge this into place if needed. So I get that little extra bit of wiggle time with the liquid glue. So we are going to just add this guy. So I'm just looking to make sure I have an equal border at the top, bottom, and left side. Okay, and then I'm going to bring in my strip of DSP, and it's going to butt right up against that piece. Okay, this is 1 1/4 by 5 1/4. Okay, and together the width of those ends up being 4. So it just ends up being like a panel on the front of my card. So we're going to add a little bit of glue to this guy and tuck that in. Just like that. Oh, Debbie, thank you so much for sharing. Hi, Martine. How are you? You haven't missed that much, Martine. I'm just on my second card, so you can just go back and watch the replay for what you missed, but stick around and hang out with us for the rest of the video. All right, so the next thing we're going to layer is one of my beloved square vellum doilies. I think I use these every week. They are my very favorite thing. And we're going to turn this square doily into a round one. And I've shown you how to do this before, but just for those who maybe are new or haven't seen me do this before, I'm just going to take and trim off the corners on each side here, and that's going to result in a round doily. That is what I love so much about these doilies, is that they're super versatile. You can get all sorts of different shapes out of them just by trimming off portions of the doily. And they're super easy to trim. I'm just taking my paper snips and just trimming off the bits that I don't want. Now these, last time I checked, were on low inventory, so I'm hoping they are not on back order because they are my fave. All right, so that is going to get glued to the front of our card. To glue this down, I'm just going to put a little bit of seal here. I'm not really worrying about trying to hide it because this is going to, my flower is going to cover it afterwards. So we're just going to kind of plop that down on the front of our card. Hello, Donna Pierce, Citio. How are you? Are you as excited about being almost done as I am? It has been a long, long, crazy journey this year. All right, so I have already stamped and die cut the outline image. And then I have here my color, my ink pad. So I've got Highland Heather, So Saffron, and Mint Macaron. All right, so we're gonna start with the Highland Heather. So we're gonna do the larger flowers in Highland Heather. So this is one of the solid image stamps, and I'm literally, now I am gonna stamp off with this because I want it to be a little bit lighter. So I'm literally just stamping them right over top of that image. And it really does not have to be perfect, okay? It's meant to be sort of a watercolor effect. So I'm not really worrying about trying to get it perfectly centered or perfectly lined up. All right, I'm even talking while doing this, which is actually dangerous. But we're just gonna go for it, and whatever happens, happens. Okay, there are my purple flowers, done. Super quick and easy. Oh, I hear you about asking me in a week. That's what I said. Next week, this video is gonna be rocking. I may already be 3 glasses of wine into it by the time 5 o'clock rolls around. All right, so now I'm gonna do my smaller flowers in Faux Saffron. So again, I'm stamping off just because I want this to be really soft and subtle, okay? And then I'm going to do my leaves in the Mint Macaron. So there are 2 different sizes of leaf stamps. I'm going to start with the larger one and do the 2 larger leaves first. So there's one. I'm actually going to flip this around this way to do this guy. Okay, and then we're going to do our little guys. So again, we're going to stamp off and just fill those in. It's super quick and easy to do this. So I'm not really taking any time to try to line them up or make sure they're perfectly centered. It's really just a quick and dirty, as they say, way to fill in your stamped images, okay? All right, now on my sample, I decided I didn't like having the centers of my flowers white. So I actually brought in my light Faux Saffron blends, and I just filled in a little bit of the center on the purple flowers, the large purple ones. Okay, I just felt like they needed it. All right, so that is it. Super easy, right? We're gonna pop that up on the front of our card as soon as I find my dimensionals. There they are. So let's just add a couple, whoopsie, that one fell out of my hand. And then we'll add a couple small ones on the leaves. And we're gonna pop that on. Thanks so much for watching, Debbie. I hope you enjoy. I should give a caveat. I'm not feeling the greatest today, so if I'm sounding a little off, I'm not normally quite this spacey. I'm just a little out of it today. Actually had a COVID test because I was having quite a few symptoms, but it was negative, so I'm all good. But I'm just feeling not great. So, you know, show must go on, right? All right, so I have here a circle. It is 1 1/4 inch circle that I have pre-cut. I'm going to take my Feel Better Friend stamp and ink it up and stamp it in black ink on my little circle. And then we have a scallop circle. These are cut using the layering circle dies. Okay, so this is cut from Mint Macaron. We're going to go ahead and layer our stamped circle onto our scallop circles. We'll, whoop! Did I mention I'm not feeling that great? Holy cow. Yep, definitely not on my A game today. All right, so we're going to pop that on. It's going to just kind of tuck right in the corner here of the flower. And again, I want to take care that I'm not overlapping with a dimensional, right? Because this is already popped. So I'm going to put a dimensional down here and just a little bit of liquid glue on the other side, because that is going to overlap my flowers. Okay, so it's going to run just like that. And then we're going to add another bow. So I've got all these little scraps of this ribbon because I've used it a lot. So I've got a lot of the ends of rolls just laying on my desk, which is a great way to use up little scraps when you are making bows or just using little bits. Don't ever throw out bits of ribbon. There are so many things you can do with small scraps. Not the least of which is make pretty bows. So let's trim off our excess here and add a glue dot. So we'll pop that on. And this is just going to kind of tuck right in the corner here by our sentiment. I just want to make sure I'm not covering it up. So I'm going to put it at a little bit of an angle. And then we are going to use some of our Genial Gems as soon as I find a sheet that has the green ones on it. There it is. So we are using the soft Succulent this time. And I find it works really well with a lot of greens. It's not just with soft Succulent. So here I use Mint Macaron, right? But they totally work with with the Mint Macaron cardstock. So that's the beauty of these gems. They work with so many different colors. All right, so there is our finished card. Now I had to add just a little bit. Uh-oh, where's my Wink of Stella? Stella, where are you? Okay, I did add a little bit of Wink of Stella. Stella has disappeared, and I don't need Stella. Oh, there it is. Ha, found her. I'm going to add just a little bit of Wink of Stella to my blossoms here to make them sparkle. This probably won't show on the video. It usually doesn't. You'll just have to take my word for it. So there you go. All right. So there is card number 2 done. Hope you guys like that one. I got to clear some space here. I got boatloads of stamps and ink pads out. And now I'm going to show you this last one. So this is a fun fold I posted today. And this is a fun fold that has a real wow, but that is way easier than it looks. Like way easier. I'm going to show you from start to finish how to make this one. Okay. It's called an arrow fold. People can make them horizontally or vertically oriented. They are a real wow. They stand up. They just really have a real wow factor to them. So I'm going to show you how to do it. Super, super simple. We're going to start with our card base. So this is 4 1/4 by 11 inches. It's scored in the middle at 5 1/2. All right. So that's all we really need to make this fold. Okay. It's just a basic card base. So I'm going to bring in my trimmer and I'm going to bring in my pencil. So what we need to do, first thing I'm going to do is fold this in half along my score line. So it's really, really easy to see where the score line is. Okay, and then I'm going to open it back up, but that way we can really clearly see where the score line is. So the first thing we need to do is to measure on all sides the halfway point, to find the halfway point. So this length is 5 1/2 inches, so 2 3/4 is going to be the middle. So I'm just going to use the ruler on my grid paper, and I'm going to mark 2 3/4 on both of the long sides. So 2 3/4 and 2 3/4. Okay, so just got my little pencil marks there. And then the bottom edge is 4 1/4 inches. So the halfway point will be 2 1/8. So again, I'm going to use my ruler on my grid paper to put a little mark at 2 1/8. So now I found the midpoints on all 3 sides. Okay, then I'm going to bring in my trimmer, move some stuff out of the way here. And I'm going to place my card base into my trimmer. And the first thing that I want to do, the first score line I'm going to make is going to go from the fold, from the very corner of the fold, down to that midpoint on the bottom edge, that 2 1/8 mark. Okay, so I'm going to line up the fold and that little tick mark in the cutting track, and then I'm going to score. Okay, so there's my first score line. Then I'm going to rotate a little bit, and now I'm going to line up that that center mark, that 2 3/4 inch mark on the long side with the center on the bottom. Okay, the 2 1/8. Okay, so there's my 2 3/4, there's my 2 1/8. So again, line them up in my cutting track and score. Okay, so I've got 2 score lines. Can you see those? I hope they show up okay. Now I'm going to do the same thing on the other side. So I'm going to start with my fold at the top and my 2 1/8 mark at the bottom. Line those up and score. Okay, and then rotate a little bit and line up the 2 3/4 and the 2 1/8. And again, give them a score. Okay, that's it. Nothing else, no fancy anything on this one. Okay, so that's going to form our base. I still have a piece of cardstock stuck to my finger. There we go. All right, so I'm going to flip it over, and I'm going to start with these longer score lines. I'm going to fold each one in. So suddenly I'm going to end up with the start of my V. Okay, so I'm going to fold that one. Then this second score line, I'm going to fold back. Okay, and then burnish really, really well. So you can see how that's going to form our arrow. So then I'm going to do the same thing on the other side. Fold the long one and then the short one back, and then again burnish really, really well. Okay, now it's just a matter of gluing those down. So I'm going to start with my long side. I like to use the liquid glue. You could use tape as well. I just feel like I have more control with where the liquid glue goes. It's very strong glue. It just takes a little bit of time to set up, but you just want to burnish it well. Okay. And then I'm going to glue the other fold down. So again, we'll just give that a second to set up. Okay. And then same thing on the other side. A little bit of liquid glue on this little triangle here. Fold that inwards. Okay, and then another little bit. Come on. Another little bit there. And fold that down. Okay, and then again, I like to use my bone folder to really, really burnish that well, so it lies nice and flat. Okay, there is our card base. Isn't that easy? So easy. Now you can decorate this in any way you want. You don't even have to use DSP, but I decided to because, well, I love this DSP so much. So let me show you how to cut your DSP to get it to work on this card front. So this is a piece of, again, the gorgeous hand pen Petals designer paper. And I'm going to do the same kind of thing on this piece that I did on the other, or on the base, and find that middle point on the bottom edge. Okay, so this is a 4 1/4. This is already cut to 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. Okay, and I'm going to again measure on my grid paper, find the center of that bottom edge, which is 2 1/8. Okay, so I have my little pencil mark there. Then I'm going to place my DSP into my trimmer, and I'm going to line up that top left corner with that little tick in the center of the bottom edge. Okay, so you just want to make sure that's nice and straight. Okay, and then I'm going to cut. Now I find when I'm cutting on an angle, I find it easiest to start in the middle and kind of go up and down. I find it's cleaner. I get a cleaner cut. Okay, so we're going to save this piece. I'm going to do the same thing on the other side. So starting from the top right corner this time and down to that center point. And again, we're going to start our blade in the middle and cut up and down. Okay, so this is going to give us our triangle for the front of the card. Okay, and then these two pieces, when I flip them over, are going to give me my sort of background pieces for inside the card. Isn't it cool the way that works? Love it. All right, so let's get this out of the way. Now, I'm going to go ahead and glue my triangle on first. So again, I'm going to use, yes, Martine, it is surprisingly easy. It looks really, really complicated, but it's really not. I was very pleasantly surprised the first time I tried to make one of these. I was like, oh, that's actually really, really easy. All right, so there is our front panel. Okay, then for the inside, I like to have a white piece on the inside to be able to write on. I just feel like it's easier to read. So I cut a basic white panel. Again, it's 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. Okay, so it's cut the exact same size as my card base. All right, then I'm going to go ahead and glue my DSP triangles on either side, just like that. Okay, so we're going to use again a little bit of liquid glue, just again to get that little bit of wiggle time to get them perfectly into place. So we'll pop this guy on one side. Just make sure that's nice and straight. And then this guy on the other. Pop that on over here. Like that. Oh, that needs a little bit more glue right at the tip. Didn't go up quite high enough with my glue. There we go. Okay, so then that is going to get glued inside our card. And you're going to see when it closes that that perfectly lines up. So that front triangle covers up the white on the inside. Okay, so you just want to really be careful with your measurements. Make sure you are super accurate when you're measuring and cutting your pieces. If you're off even just a little bit, you will find that you might have a little bit of a gap between that triangle on the front and your inside panel. Okay, so just word to the wise. It's happened to me. So you just want to make sure that you're really careful with your measurements. Okay, that's it. So simple. All right, so to finish off our card, we just need to stamp and color. So we are going to start with a label. This label is cut using the Tasteful Labels dies. Those are my go-to labels. I absolutely love them. I'm going to bring back my thanks stamp. Hey Debbie, how are you? I heard it's hot in Alberta. I heard BC is going to be crazy hot over the next few days. Just nutso. So I've stamped my thanks again in the basic gray, and then I'm going to bring back that large floral stamp, and I'm just going to get a little hint of the flowers just in that bottom corner to fill up some of that empty space, because we're going to add our other flower sort of here. Okay, so I just like to fill in so it looks nice and full. Once again, I'm going to color using my blends. This time I'm using Highland Heather for my flower. So again, I'm not going to be super careful here. Just like on the last card, I like to be, or on the first card rather, I like to be just a little bit sort of freewheeling when I'm coloring this image. Again, because it's a hand-drawn image, I don't really feel like it needs to be super perfectly precise when you're coloring. I just think it kind of works with the style of the image. Oh, okay, so there is our large flower. And then again, I'm going to come in with a little bit of the dark. Just add a bit of shadow here and there. Nothing super crazy. And then again, come back in with my light and just blend that out. So again, not super careful, just enough to kind of blend those shades a little bit. Okay. All right, so then I'm going to come in with my So Saffron and color the smaller flower. Now I know these are kind of on the same, well, I decided they weren't actually on the same stem. This is a separate stem, I decided. Because they were two different flowers, and I thought it looked odd to have the two different flowers on the same stem. So I decided this was on a different stem and it was going to be a different color. It's my artistic license. I'm going to color these guys while I'm at it. Just again, really quickly. So I'm just going over with my light to start. Okay. And then I'm going to come in with my dark. Again, just kind of following the hash marks on the image. Just filling in the centers a little bit. And then again, I'm going to come back with my light and just blend that out a little. And same thing here. Okay, not super careful. And then I need my Mint Macaron again. They were in the other bin. So I'm going to start with the light again on the leaves. So we're just going to add a quick little bit of color to the stem, or stems, because we decided this was a separate flower, right? Or at least I did. You may disagree. And we're just going to add a little bit of green to the stems and the leaves. Okay, and then again, coming in with the dark, adding just a little bit of shadow, following the hash lines on the, or hash marks rather, on the leaves. And then again, blending those out. So again, I'm hoping this takes away some of the fear of coloring. For those of you that feel like you're not good at coloring, these images are very forgiving, and you do not have to be a superstar blender and shader and colorer to be able to make these look great. Okay, so there are our colored flowers. It's now just a matter of adding them to the front of our card. So I'm going to, first of all, add this flower to my label. I'm going to pop it up. So it's going to kind of overlap this way. So I'm going to put a dimensional here and here. Okay, so we're going to put those down first. So let's just pop that on right about there. Okay, now I may want to add, I think I'm going to add a mini just here behind this little part, just so that it doesn't get squished. Okay, and then that is going to go on the front of my card, again with a couple of dimensionals. So it's going to go just sort of above this little part that sort of flares out. It's going to sit just about there. So I'm going to kind of go 1, 2, 3, and 4. And then that's going to sit right like that. Okay, so we'll get rid of our backings. The label, Deb, is from the Tasteful Labels dies. These labels are the ones that I use almost every week on at least one card. They have kind of replaced stitched shapes for me because stitch shapes were kind of my go-to. So now this has become my, my go-to. All right, so we're going to add a ribbon. Now this is actually Fresh Freesia ribbon, but I feel like it's close enough to the Highland Heather that it actually works quite well with this card. So we're just going to tie a quick bow. So you saw 3 out of the 5 ink colors in this ribbon today. So you saw the Pale Papaya, the Soft Succulent, and now the Fresh Freesia. And again, you guys, this ribbon is just the bomb. I love it. So we're just going to trim off our tails. And as soon as I find what I do with my glue dots, there they are. We'll add a glue dot to the nut. And then I tuck that just at the base of the stem there. Okay, and then the last little touch again is to add a few more genial gems. I again use the Soft Succulent ones. Just to add a little bit of sparkle. Let's put one here, and we'll put one up here. And there we go. Done and done. Let me clean up my mess so you can actually look at the cards and not the mess. There we go. All right, so there is your arrow fold. Super, super simple, but such a wow. And then here are our other 2 projects for today. So I hope you enjoyed those. Have a good look at this suite. If you haven't already purchased it, honestly, you guys, it is gorgeous. And I'm going to give you I'm going to spill the beans just a little. There might just be a product coming in Celebration 2.0 this summer that coordinates with this suite. I'm not going to say anything more than that, but honestly, you need to have this suite. All right, everybody, thanks for hanging with me, even though I'm not quite my usual chipper self. Hopefully, well, I know by next week I'll be feeling better because I will be officially on summer holidays. So thank you so much for joining me this week. Make sure you check out the free shipping sale this Thursday. Take advantage and get your free embellishments with your $65 order. And I will see you again next week for another episode of Tuesday Live at 5. Bye for now.